So for today's adventure, we're at the Section 3 Lake Trailhead, getting ready to do the hike into Bear Creek Mountain. The hike today should be about 8 miles round trip. To get to this trailhead, we exited Highway 12 near Rimrock Lake, and it was about 45 minutes or 20 miles roughly of Forest Service road to get in here, the last 2 miles of which is fairly rough. We did this hike about 4 years ago. This is in 2019, and have been trying to get back in here since then to shoot a little bit higher quality video. Anyways, today's adventure is Bear Creek Mountain via the Section 3 Lake Trailhead. So we're almost 9/10 of a mile in, not quite, and a little over 200 feet of elevation gain so far. We have already been able to glimpse Bear Creek Mountain off in the distance. One of the things that I like about this particular hike, and what makes it one of my favorite hikes, is you have a long straight run with very little elevation gain until you get right to the base of Bear Creek Mountain, and then you're going to gain the bulk of the hike elevation when you do the actual ascent to the peak. So you have a pretty nice relaxing hike into Bear Creek Mountain itself. And then the other thing that I really appreciate on this hike is that there are a number of open meadows as you hike into the mountain itself, and I think those are one of the best features of this particular hike. So we're almost 1.9 miles in and about 350 feet of elevation gain. We're breaking out into another nice meadow area. I want to note that Bear Creek Mountain is probably more on the eastern end of the Goat Rocks, so you can expect it to get slammed with snow pretty hard in the winter. So the hiking window for this is pretty short. For sure August, September typically, and if you're pushing the hiking envelope, maybe mid-July through mid-October, and outside of that you're running the risk of a lot of snow. Anyways, here's another one of those beautiful meadows that really makes us like this hike so much. I'm always sad when I don't see animals in this meadow. It's such a beautiful one. It's kind of like the sound of music. So far 2.55 miles, 415 feet of elevation gain. We're getting very close now to the trail intersection that'll take us up to Bear Creek Mountain. So we've got to keep our eye open for that, or we'll wind up at Conrad Meadows. So 2.7 miles, 530 feet of elevation gain. You hit the sign that indicates if you stay to the right, you're going up to Bear Creek Mountain. The main trail actually heads off to the left towards Conrad Meadows. So up we go. And now the views will start to get fabulous. Feel the agony of the elevation gain. So 3.4 miles and 1,245 feet of elevation gain. We just completed the climb up the rock gully. It's not really a gully, but there's a pretty sizable rock or talus area that you have to climb up through. And then once you get into the trees here, the hiking is going to get a little bit easier. And you also know that you're getting relatively close to the top at this point. When you do get to the top, you'll break back out of the trees, so you will get those classic 360-degree views that you really want. So arriving up on the top, gonna make our way over to the sign-in tube. All right, so the girls have taken care of the sign-in tube. We're at the top of Bear Creek Mountain. And then we'll just give you a 360. We're gonna pan and pick up Mount Rainier. I'm gonna watch my footing here. And as you spin counterclockwise from Mount Rainier, you start to pick up the goat rocks here. There's Old Snowy, there's Ives, Tieton right there, kind of in the foreground, in front of those other mountains. There's Gilbert right there. And so you spin from spin to the left or counterclockwise from the goat rocks. There's Mount Adams. Cannot see St. Helens from up here. And then of course looking out, as you start to look out towards the south and east, you don't get any of the peaks anymore. You're looking out towards Yakima in that direction. And all the way back around to the Tube Bear. So that's the full 360 from Bear Creek Mountain. There's a
it's a bed.
there's a nan down there too.
It's warm.
Anyways, there it is. I think this is probably one of my favorite day peaks. And I love looking out at the goat rocks. I could look out at the goat rocks all day. All right, so we're going to start our descent back out to the trailhead. Just for context, we're at 3.86 miles to the summit, and it was about 1,400 feet of elevation gain. And now we're going to wind our way back out. So we're right at about 7.3 miles, and we're arriving back at the Section 3 Lake Trailhead. So we're going to call Bear Creek Mountain.
In the bag.
It's in the bag. This is a fabulous hike, especially if you want to have close-up views of the interior of the goat rocks, because this puts you on that eastern edge of the goat rocks. It puts those goat rock peaks right in your face. Again, I filmed this one in 2019. I'm hoping it turned out better today. But once again, as I was filming, it didn't seem like I was getting quite what I wanted. But it's never as good.
Get outside.
That's right, get outside. Anyways, Bear Creek Mountain, it's in the bag. Get outside.